Frost is my name. Frost is my name. Frost is my name.
All right, hello everybody. I just want to confirm that my mic is working. Can everybody hear me? Not going to be any fancy graphics tonight. I don't have Nick's whole setup, but this really was just sort of meant to talk to you guys and get some information out there. So, okay, I was just able to hear myself in the stream. So, okay, welcome everybody. What I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight is some background stuff that's been going on with me, Nick, and MixSwitch. After we completed a review of Unlock Switch on Friday, we were emailed by MixSwitch and were asked to try a beta firmware of the MixSwitch on the Unlock Switch. Now, we were not told exactly why to do this, but a long story short is that MixSwitch, I would argue, of course, assumed that the product was fake, that there were problems with it. We didn't know exactly how they were doing this until they sent us the firmware, or more so sent Nick the firmware, I should say. Now, in our testing of this firmware, what we were able to conclude was that this firmware was extracting some sort of serial number from the MixSwitch. This serial number is able to identify individual units. And between my MixSwitch, Nick's MixSwitch, and Nick's Unlock Switch, I was able to confirm that each of the numbers was different. Now, they were encrypted. I don't know what the specific numbers were, but they were encrypted values that I was able to self-identify each unit. I also just did a test before the stream to confirm that this wasn't just being completely randomly generated. I used a different SD card and a different game that was being ran at the time, and was able to confirm that it looks like whatever number they're generating is per device. It's not randomly generated. It is a per device number. I'm going to read the email that MixSwitch sent. Now, this number, for the record, is put in the NX index file. That's the thing that holds your what game you're currently on, and that holds the firmware version of the card. And MixSwitch asked us to send this file after we had ran it on the unlock switch. So here's what they said. We gave you a beta release firmware and you tried it on the unlock switch. The NX index file it produces gives us an irrefutable evidence the so-called unlock switch chip IC is actually a MixSwitch chip IC. On your unlock switch sample, they extracted the ICs from a batch from February 5th and just put them on their PCB. Your MixSwitch sample, referring to Nix, is from December 4th. It's the very first production, so we know you did not mix up the file. We knew anyways, but the fact that you provided both is even better. Why they would do that? I guess to ask people to prepay, collect a lot of orders, and never ship. It is really an elaborate scam. Those guys went quite far to pull this off. But if you think that they can collect $300,000 or $500,000 in pre-orders and pay $0 to produce, I guess it is not that stupid if you have no remorse or respect from stealing from people who work hard for their money. We suspect a person, we have a name, but we won't say it as we are not 100% sure, and obviously we can't make a mistake. But it is the same person who scammed some of our resellers by emailing them. He found their email address from the links in our Where to Buy page, telling them we have stock from someone who canceled. Pay now and we'll ship right away. Unfortunately, a few resellers got it for being too gullible, and with the money they made, we guess they smelled there was a lot of money to make. Now we will email customers this week to warn them to not purchase or they will get scammed. After, if they don't listen, their problem, we warn them. That is what MixSwitch emailed us. I also want to add at the bottom, they said, we will give you exclusive to announce it. You can quote what we said, but please do not put words on us we did not say. All we say is the ICs on your samples are coming from a MixSwitch. We are absolutely certain, so it is just a person who put a new PCB in case and reused the MixSwitch chip on them. That is what we were given. Now, Nick obviously is going to be rewatching it. We're going to confirm whether or not I guess messed up anything in saying this. I was given permission by Nick to bring this to you guys' attention. The only thing I've added so far is just the backstory on how all of this got started. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Obviously, I'm going to honor what MixSwitch said and not put words into their mouth. So I won't be doing that. But if there's any questions on what's been going on before, before this or anything like that, please feel free to let me know. Something I personally want to add. This is a personal message from me. You guys are smart, I know it, but I do need to make it clear that, of course, MigSwitch would have a vested interest in claiming this is fake. As much as the possibility of us being pawns to peddle a potential scam. So from a personal level, I am actually fairly neutral. MigSwitch is the only people to have access to these kind of tools. But at the same time, they have their own personal vested interest. Take that for what you will. Unlock Switch did send us a product, but we can't tell where those chips came from, and it doesn't do anything new that they claim it would do. They're saying that the people who purchase later will get the new features. We didn't get it because they wanted to get some kind of product to us. I don't know. Personally, I don't know. I don't know if Unlock Switch will see this video. I don't know if this will get back to them at all. And if it does, then I guess I would like an explanation of some sort. Perhaps an explanation before anyone decides to make a purchase on this. So, again, if anybody has any questions, please post them right now. Otherwise, I will hop off. I did want to make this fairly quick. This was just something we needed to get out there. I'll say 7:42 my time. I'll say 7:45. No one has any questions. I will hop off. But thank you guys for being here, though. And if you guys want to share this around, feel free to clip me, feel free to share me around, do whatever you'd like to do, because I'm here to report the news. I don't know exactly what to make of this, but and if there is anyone who just joined who didn't get the full story, if anyone would like me to repeat the story, it'll be a TLDR. So if you want to hear the full story, then you can watch the VOD when I get this uploaded. But okay, CNN. Hold on. Go back into restream. So okay, the unlock switchboard is different. How can they do this? Well, what MigSwitch seems to believe is that they just took their ICs. They bought a lot of MIG switches, took the ICs off, excuse me, reprinted the board with a bunch of unlock switch branding, and then just put the chips on. So it works the exact same because it's the same PCB. It just looks different. They put a pretty case and sticker on it, and they're alleging that they're not going to deliver a product. That real people will not get a product since this is just using effectively stolen MigSwitch ICs. And by stolen, I don't mean that they literally stole it, like literally, like they broke into a factory and stole a lot, but that they maybe bought or maybe didn't MigSwitches and then took the ICs off to put onto their product. Anybody has any more questions before I hop off, please post them now. This is getting nuts, yes. And again, I will try to keep my personal sort of thoughts out of this. So it's funny you asked this. What MigSwitch sent us was in fact a MigSwitch firmware, which I know is it's kind of an ironic statement. But the thing is, and I'll actually read an earlier email they sent, which I don't know if I should be reading this email, but let me see. Where is the exact quote? I don't want to misquote them. Sorry, give me one moment. Okay, here we go. Hello, so Nick sent his NX index file. They responded, thanks, it is name of the beta firmware. So update went well. I'll let the dev look and get back to you, but it's strange it updated. It shouldn't have. So I'm thinking if they had, and there's a restream, like I guess if anyone wants to come in, I do have to leave in about a half hour, but I guess people can come in if they would like. Chances are they didn't have chips outside of sourcing MigSwitches. Because and again I'll actually quote something else because I just actually processed your question properly. Where is it? Yeah, okay. So basically MigSwitch has said, frankly, we suspected this from the beginning because cloning an encrypted software and chip in 2 months, even a company with millions in resources can't do it. So they admit it's encrypted, which I mean, of course, obviously, but they admit it's encrypted. Therefore, if they created their own, if they got their own chips and created their own system, the encryption would be different. And therefore the MigSwitch firmware wouldn't work. Therefore, the only reason that the firmware loaded, theoretically, is because it was a MigSwitch chip. Now, personally, I don't know enough about these chips, nor do I know enough about encryption in general or microcontrollers to personally say this is 100% the case. There's no way that there's any room for uh, a different explanation for this. But I guess I'll slightly go back on what I said about not giving my opinion. But I don't know, man. I don't want to say they're caught dead to rights, but it's damning. It's damning. Saying they're dead to rights would be some sort of watermark, some sort of independent watermark that we would be able to see if, say, the code was open source. If they could give us some kind of open source way of decrypting, because like say they had something built into their firmware that let you dump the firmware or dump parts of the firmware, and they could send us an open source tool to do so. That would be dead to rights. But they sent us an encrypted firmware that dumped an encrypted serial number of some sort and then reported back to us a result. We don't know what they did on the back end, which is why I'm holding back on claiming that they're dead to rights. But yeah, and but I guess that's sort of where their argument comes into, Joe, is that they didn't put any effort. They just took the chips and put it on a new board. And so, they don't have any ability, I guess, to rewrite the MIG switch firmware or anything like that. And so, with that theoretically being the case, they couldn't have done anything unless they wanted to put some other piece of hardware in that did the check. But which, ironically, and now that I think about it, and this is just purely my thoughts. Nothing that MIG switch has not said this. No one else has said this. It's just a thought that I had, but it makes me wonder if that's why they removed the pin header. If maybe they thought that somebody would send MIG switch, or somebody with more knowledge than I have would attempt to use those pin headers to dump the firmware or do some kind of check on it, not realizing that MIG switch could effectively do it through software. So I don't know, man. I don't know. And Nick said he'd be watching this when he gets home. He's out right now. He might go live. I might go live with him. Not totally sure, but I don't know. All right, I'm gonna hop off now, guys. Thank you for joining. If anybody has any questions, you can join the Discord. I'll post that right now. You can shoot me a message privately. I don't care. I'll try and answer any questions you guys have. And well, let's just hope this all get cleared up, and that nobody is about to lose a lot of money.